I'm Janet Botnick, still working part-time for the district because they educate great children here. This was a great place to be a staff member. Lots and lots of wonderful children went through here. What I think I'm most thrilled about now, I see those children now as educators and administrators all across the Olathe district. They loved it here as much as I did. I was here for 19 years. When we were at junior high, I taught 9th grade. I had a wonderful partner that I taught with. We split the 9th grade and did something called the Renaissance Festival here. And it was the culminating activity after reading Romeo and Juliet, and we loved it. We loved it. It was a great opportunity. I came here when we were getting ready to open our 3rd junior high, and we've grown quite a bit since then. But no matter how big this district has gotten, it still feels like small town because this district has that as a priority.
My name is Nathan Newmer. I was here 9 years ago, and I did like some clubs here, like weightlifting club and basketball club for 2 years here. And I always loved playing activities and PE and did the PACER tests and everything. When I graduated, I missed being here.
Hi, I was Tammy Donahue, and now I'm Tammy Cunningham. We had a lot of great memories in the school. We had drill team, I was on the drill team, still have my little letter I'd like to donate. One of the things that I remember is in our science class with Ed May and Pat McRoberts, and we made root beer. And I still have the clipping of that at home, and I actually was in the paper for that one. So it was a lot of fun. We just had a lot of fun and great memories throughout the years of the school. So one of my fondest was the science department. I had a lot of fun with the guys. So
I'm Kelly Showalter. Now it's Kelly Newport. I went here. We were trying to figure. So like 7. No, it'll be a long. Yeah. So we graduated in 79, 78, 76, 75, 74. That's how you do it.
It was just a smaller community back then. There was pretty much dirt roads past this when we were growing up, and just you knew everybody. So everybody knew everybody. You couldn't get away with anything because your parents knew everybody too. So just a lot of good memories. Smaller, we pretty much walked everywhere, and I did ride the bus to junior high, but just people knew everyone. You had a lot of fun, and you just had a lot of friends.
buffet when we got in.
Yeah, you spent your summers at the swimming pool, Mill Creek swimming pool. Spent our summers there, and we had to wear one-piece gym suits.
Yeah,
we had to wear one-piece gym suits. My granddaughter will go to the new school. Yes. My granddaughter will go to the new school, and I was telling her that, and she's like, gross, I am not wearing a gym suit. Yeah, she will.
Grew up in Olathe and went to Olathe schools in 1967-68 school year. This school was supposed to open, however, it wasn't ready. So we began the first semester of the school year in downtown Olathe in churches and the old school. And so in January of 1968, the school was ready, so we opened up the school here for the second semester at Santa Fe Trail Junior High at the time. It's really grown. It was a new concept school with really no windows and all air conditioned, and it was kind of a nightmare actually when it opened up. But anyway, it's grown a lot, and I'm surprised it's being torn down, but had to come and see it and say hi to everybody. Yeah, well, when the school opened up, there was virtually nothing north of Santa Fe. It was a gravel road up to Kansas City Road, and this was a new paved road, and then they built the baseball fields, and we had one swimming pool and downtown, and eventually they opened up another private pool. We played baseball with fields next door, and did the usual things kids did in small towns back then. It was a small town still. It's no longer a small town. So they've changed a lot over the years. I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like now and kind of remember what this building maybe looked like back in the day.
Hi, my name's Kathy Meyer, and I'm a longtime Olathe resident. Santa Fe Trail was a brand new school when I came here. I didn't come the year that they entered it in the semester, but the first full year. And Leland King was our principal. Gina was his daughter in my class. And Ron Wimmer was the vice principal. He also taught Spanish. Olathe has grown and grown, and when I was a child, I always said I lived in the country, which now is developed, as Santa Fe sat in a field, basically, at that time. The population when I graduated in '74 was about 40,000. I think it's like 150 now. So you can tell it's very different. This particular school seemed far away from me because I was a bus kid, as were most people at that time. At the time Santa Fe was built, there was only 2 middle schools, junior highs, and we rode the bus and we became bus friends. Some of the things that I remember about Santa Fe, well, many things, but the science classes, I remember learning about brewing beer, although it wasn't alcoholic beer. I also performed with I think it was the all-girls choir with Texana Olenberger as a brand new teacher, and we were ornery in that class. The cafeteria had pull-out tables from the wall, but that was also the commons area, so it was used for many purposes. As the years went by, I watched this school be added on to, but it kept its circular center, which really affected me, and I can still point out where my locker is today.
Sarah Hansen.
I'm Rob Post.
I think we went here at the same time, right? 78, 9.
Right, till 81. When it was a junior high, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Tony, you've got the best singer that ever went through
I have
Santa
a picture
Fe.
on my phone. I got Vocal Music Student of the Year award from Mrs. O in 1981.
Texana Olenberger, and his hair was the best hair at Santa Fe Trail. So, not sure what happened with this, but
It's called old age.
yeah, I remember the lunchroom being in the front commons.
Yeah, right when you came in the front door.
Right.
But right next to the gym. That was the lunchroom. And what's the choir room now used to be the band room, and that was the end of the school. And this was actually added while we were here.
Right. Yeah.
The part
absolutely.
behind the theater.
We had the soft serve ice cream in the lunchroom.
From the lunch ladies.
Right. Yeah. I remember the soft serve ice cream. That was great.
And the thing to do when you were in school here in the late 70s was the skating rink on Friday and Saturday night.
Playmore, right? Playmore skate. That's right.
I love it.
As junior high kids, we would get to school, drop our bags off in the locker, and we would walk the Fay.
Yep.
And then when we got to high school and our parents gave us cars, we would drive the Fay. Remember
Right.
that? We would just
Oh,
walk. You drop your books down and just walk the laps. I
Yeah.
think my freshman year, we talked the principals into letting us play music while we walked the
Right.
Fay for those 10 minutes. So I think I got booed when I chose country music, but I don't know.
and I will have to say, I was going to say the most embarrassing moment I've ever had in my entire life. Right out front, it was icy, and I had a bunch of books, and I slipped and fell, books flying in the air, right when a school bus went by. All day long, people were like, "You were the dude that fell."
In high school,
Yeah.
weekends, I guess it'd be considered like this year's chat rooms, but
Right.
you get in your car and you would just drive up and down Santa Fe.
So
The Alco parking lot?
The Alco, like what's the Harbor Freight now by Camacho's was Alco. We would hang out in the Alco parking lot, and then we'd get in our cars. We would drive downtown, turn around, back to Alco, downtown, back to Alco, all night long.
Yeah, you could either drive it or you'd sit at Alco parking lot and wave at everybody as they went by. Well, we said Mrs. Olenberger.
Yeah, I'd say Mrs. O is probably my fondest memory of a teacher
Yeah.
here.
Science was Ed May,
Yeah.
and Mr. May was just
And
phenomenal.
It was Miss Fording was here, and she was drama, I think, and then they got married.
Yes.
Because she became Mrs. May.
Yes.
Yeah, Ed May died, what, like 20 plus
Well,
years
it was our class reunion. It was
a while ago.
04.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our class reunion. So we had
And Patty Wallace was here.
Patty Wallace was here, absolutely, starting her
Yep.
physical education
Yep.
career, and yeah, she was wonderful. Well, you had two junior highs in. You had Santa Fe and Oregon Trail,
Yeah, that was
and we fed right into North, and it just seemed like another step on the family run. That you went from here to there, and I think there was a lot of pride in your school system because you knew what high school you're going to go to. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember walking into the locker room for the first time down the stairs.
Downstairs.
I thought I was a professional athlete because I had my own lock, I had my own locker. We had gym every single day, and I was in my element. I still am. So
I didn't actually know this when it happened, but my mom told me later. I sang Blue Moon on this stage, and this girl next to my mom in the audience said, "Mom, that's the boy I told you about."
that wasn't me, but it could have been any girl at Santa Fe Trail, Rob. You were the guy. You were in.
All right, I'm Jean Roycer. When I first began teaching here in 1975, I was Miss Humphrey with the long brown hair. Went all the way down to my rear end, and the kids thought that was so cool. But I retired in 2008, so I was here for 33 years, and then retired, sat out for a year, and then started substitute teaching at Santa Fe Trail for 9 years, and then retired for good. Some of my best memories were here. I spent a lot of time here. Some of my best friends nowadays are former students. So I love my kids dearly. And my daughter is Catherine, and she kind of grew up here too.
Yeah, I got to, it was really fun being here because, I mean, since I was itty bitty, I got to come to school with her. I mean, I went here between 2005 and 2008, something like that. It was her last year teaching, and she was the 9th grade English teacher of my grade, so that was very interesting. But it was really fun, and being able to like go through the hallways and all the teachers, they became family to me from little to, you know, grown up, and being here, seeing everybody is just so special because they were my family too. I got to grow up here just, you know, as much as she did.
When she was very, very small, she would walk over from Washington, and she had certain stops she made along the way until she got to my room, because each person that, like the secretary at the front office, would give her a lollipop. Next person would give her a little Tootsie Roll. Next person would give her a Jolly Rancher. By the time she got to my room,
I had a handful of candy for the day. Yeah.
So she loved SFT too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I would like to say that the faculty at SFT, we honestly were one big family.
Yeah.
We took care of each other. We kept each other going. We patted each other on the back. We truly cared about each other. And we would also play some little jokes along the way, such as, well, you can edit this if you want to.
I'll never.
One of my students, beautiful boy, I mean, he was just wonderful. But one day, he was just, I don't know what was wrong with him. He was just being extra ornery. And I thought, you know, he's going to get himself in trouble. I got to get him out of here. So I wrote a note to a fellow teacher and said, please act like this is very serious. you know, and then send him on his way. And I tucked it into a classified envelope, told him to go to this teacher. Well, she read it, caught on to what I was doing. She sent him to another teacher. He ended up going to 10 teachers during that 1 hour of class, and he didn't get in trouble. And I gave it to his mom, and she said, I can't wait to give this to his grandmother. This is Melanie Gargas. I'm Mrs. Royster. Was I Mrs. Royster then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Former student.
And you taught social studies, I guess it was, or that
Language
kind of
arts
thing.
and social
Yeah.
studies, unified studies.
So the two big things that I remember about you, first of all, you are the one who ignited my passion for travel. It was you.
Really?
I never dreamed about that in my very kind of limited childhood. But when you would go up there and talk about all your travels, and how you went to Italy, and somebody said you were up on the balcony of, you know, Romeo and Juliet.
Yes! Oh
and
my
somebody
God.
said, oh, look, it's Juliet, because you had this long hair. And just all the things that you would share about all your travels, I was like, ooh. And so I love to travel. I've not really been around the world yet like I would like, but I've been all over the country, and we traveled full time for 3 years, only
wonderful.
living on the road. And then the other thing I remember, so I was like most of my junior high and elementary years, I was verbally bullied, just constant every single day. And I remember that you were kind of nearby when somebody walked by, and I was just kind of whatever, looking around, going down the hall, and somebody looked at me and said, what are you looking at? And and so you pulled me aside and said, look, next time somebody says that, you just look back at them and say, not much. And I was like, I can be strong.
So I helped you with that too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying
You're about the only teacher that I've actually remembered.
Oh
Other
my
than
gosh.
a couple of people just today have said, oh, here's, you know, Mr. So-and-so or whatever. I'm like, I remember the name.
Oh, thank you.
I was hoping to see you. I know your daughter said that you would be here, so
Yes.
I was so excited.
Oh, did you get that on tape? That was wonderful.
Just amazing.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you so much for inspiring me.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Adeline. We were here last year. And now we're freshmen in high school.
Yeah. We love it.
Yeah, we love
Let's talk about Mr. Green's class.
Okay. Well, we kind of became friends in Mr. Green's class.
Yeah, so Mr. Green is our social studies teacher. Yeah, and one time we were playing a game outside, and for some reason with the football, and Adeline tackled me in front of the whole class.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Guys, I didn't.
But you did.
I didn't. I just lightly tapped her and she fell over.
So she tackled me in front of the class, and then
now Mr. Green likes to talk about
now he plays replays of football highlights and says this is Cameron and this is Adeline, and one person gets tackled. So
yeah, and we also in choir. We became really good friends in choir.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we still talk to some of our teachers today. Like I texted our choir teacher today asking if she'd be here, and we're coming back over the summer to help with the new school in getting it decorated for the new choir class. I'm actually really excited because I don't know what it's gonna look like.
I know.
Because I don't think I've ever been fully through a new building.
Never.
Yes, I'm Ernie Claudel, and this is my wife Janet, and we're both veteran staff members here at Santa Fe. She was the attendance clerk in 1974, and I was assistant principal here from 2093 to 2002. Friendliest place I ever was. after about 3 weeks in and I got my feet wet, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. I loved it here. It's great. No, I spent my time here on administrative staff with Dr. Yurkovich and Phil Clark, and great times. Really enjoyed it. Oh, there's great ones. The one that was the most influential initially in helping me feel at home was Major Holmes, and he quickly took me under his wing, and he immediately started calling me boss, and yeah, it was really fun. And then I don't think she's here tonight, but Charlotte Hickman was the lead custodian, and she was here when Janet was here in '74, and she was still here when I got here. So she went around and told everybody that I could basically walk on water. So with her and Duffer, after about 2 days, I was in like Flynn. So great.
I'm John Oster. I was a student here from 1979 to 1982. The maze circle, I don't know what they call it, but that's definitely familiar. But looking at trying to find old classrooms, it was hard to find because of all the reconstruction. Just the new additions. Couldn't find the library, couldn't find the band room. Well, I eventually found the band room, where I spent a lot of my years and time at. I do have a memory where one of my lockers was, and so I found it tonight in the same spot. It was not hard to find.
Phil Clark, principal here from '92 to 2002.
And Stacy Yurkovich, I was actually here from 1989 to 2004 as an admin intern, a teacher, an assistant principal, and a principal. And we worked together along with Ernie Claudel for, we were together for 10 years. And the three of us, Ernie, Stacy, and Phil, were familiar to staff as ESP. But the memories that I have of my time here, I learned a lot about people, with people, but I just remember the fun. It was, and I'm going to quote him and then I'll stop talking so you can, but he always said, I don't go to work every day, I go to play. And there were some tough days, but we always found the humor, and we just had a strong friendship to build from.
You suggested that we talk about memories, and there are so many, but I think all of them center around just the relationships that staff had with staff had with students, and the parent community as well. It was just a beautiful stretch of 10 years. I think we did a number of exciting things. I remember our initiating the Red Corner during the Old Settlers Parade, and I don't know how long after the 10-year run it went, but it was sure exciting to see the community and having formers come back to that corner because they knew that we would be there. And so that was a beautiful time. And then also the beginning of every year when we would plan a welcome back for the staff, and just the fun we had putting it together, and then being able to share the vision and the mission for that year, and doing it, as Stacy said, in a fun, meaningful way. And truly, she paraphrased the quote, or restated the quote. I can honestly say that I don't remember going to work a single day. So anyway, been blessed, and this was certainly a big part of my life, and enjoyed the contacts and relationships that we built over time.
We had opportunity because just like the Olathe School District, Santa Fe Trail was growing. And so just as new, I actually have been here through the construction of this courtyard and the library, and then us together with the North Gym and additional classrooms. I think, stories, oh my gosh. We did always find the humor and the laughter in the tough ones. And you know, we lost staff members, and there were babies and our staff members' children come through, and then being here tonight and seeing former students and their children continuing to work in the district and hiring former SFT students as teachers. I mean, it truly is a legacy, and it's just a joy to be back and to see the new building, the opportunity for the community. It really is. I can tell you a funny story, or a story with humor of Ernie, because we all had our quirky things, the three of us, but we were so close. And Ernie's a drummer, and so, you know, we sometimes had to ask Ernie to stop drumming. He didn't have the drums, but he was always drumming on the table. And Phil, just as, well, I've talked the most now, but he's usually the conversationalist, and we would present together, and we'd have this plan, and then he would just keep going, and so I had like this much time to just wrap up. So
that part I don't remember whatsoever. I'll share one. Again, there were so many stories and so many of them positive, and certainly there were challenges, as Stacy referenced, the passing of some members of staff while we were here, and others. But I'll share one little story that happened my first year. My background was really that of high school, and so I'm coming over here from the high school level and not really knowing what to expect. And the tradition, or the past few years' experience, Santa Fe Trail would put on 9 dances a year. And so the very first one hits, 2 weeks in, and I've got these 7th, 8th, and 9th graders running around me in circles, and I'm standing on the free throw line in the old gym, and Stacy walks in, and I said, "This is gonna change." And so that 9 quickly went to 4. And then we also made the move the next year to have the 7th graders. At the time it was 7 through 9. We said the 7th graders are going to have their little activity afternoon a couple of times. We'll let them join their first dance in January or whenever that one was. But then truthfully, the joy of just being around middle school kids or junior high kids, it's really hard to beat. And so I look back on even that memory when I thought I was about to lose my mind, and just short of slapping a kid or two around.
But I was there to
She was
stop
there to
it.
calm me. Our phrase was calm as strength, and she used that a couple of times that night. There are many more, but I'll stop there.
One thing I would like to do and that is a shout out to an individual who couldn't be here tonight, and her name is Charlotte Hickman.
Absolutely.
And Charlotte was a custodian, and she opened the building. And yes, and she cared for this building like it was her home. And I talked with her last week about coming, and she just wasn't up to it, but she was a significant part of the history and the legacy of Santa Fe Trail.
She was a pure joy and jewel, and I will tell you, as a building principal for 30 years, she was the gold standard. You would measure how your staff, the support staff, were doing up against Charlotte Hickman, and she'd let you know when things weren't right, and did it in a proper way, and worked her tail off, and had the expectation that those around her would do the same, because she knew that it was all about providing the best for the kids and the community of Santa Fe Trail. So she's a big part of this. Wouldn't have missed it for the world. And I think the beautiful thing, to stand in line for 15 minutes to even get into the courtyard, because there are so many current students, past students, student staff, and candidly parents of kids that have graduated and moved on, but they knew something special about Santa Fe Trail, and they've opted to be here. So they were parent alum, and that's, I think that speaks to how special this place is, and people know it. People know it.
I had the opportunity, JJ invited me to be part of the planning committee for this event, And I will say I really didn't do that much, but I was at the meetings. And one of the things that really stood out to me about the planning part was the intentionality that the staff had in preparing the students for the event and in preparing them for this continuation of the legacy in a new building. So it is, I mean, what a as Phil said, a positive climate it's been tonight, and so thankful that people came out, because the staff at Santa Fe Trail have been working for a while to make this happen. So it's just been fun.